The world, we all know, you can tell especially from the weather this morning, is in the month of December. It's the 12th month of the year for the secular world. You can tell that because its name, Deca, which means 10, that's wrong. Seems that in the Julian calendar, it was the 10th month of the year, and then January and February were added to the beginning of the year because Janus, the Roman god of the crossroads, was added as we transition from the old secular year to the new secular year. But while the world is in December, we are in the month of Kislev. This is a month that with the rest of our calendar is over 3,000 years old. The Jewish calendar every month is associated with a zodiac sign, with a Hebrew letter. The zodiac sign is Keshet. It is connected to Keshet is a bow, it's connected to the sign of Sagittarius, but also to the rainbow that God used to promise that the world would not be destroyed again. The letter it's connected to is the letter Samech, which means to support, to build up. And so it's appropriate that Hannukah falls during this month. Now, most rabbis and teachers, and I include myself in this, will tell you that Hannukah is an unimportant holiday. In the overall scheme of things, you can tell the sanctity of a holiday by the number of aliyot. So during the week, we read 3 aliyot. On Rosh Chodesh, we read 4. On Yom Tov and Rosh Hashanah, we read 5. On Yom Kippur, we read 6. And on Shabbat, we read 7 aliyot. That is our holiest day. But while Hanukkah is not an important holiday, the story of Hanukkah is vitally important to who we are. And so I want to tell you a story. I want you to go back to 165 BCE. The Second Temple is a wonder of the ancient world. Its architecture. The Temple Mount has been built up and expanded, so this beautiful temple filled with gold and rich tapestries of techelet and argaman, of blue and red royal colors, can fill this huge now Temple Mount. But that temple lies in ruins. It's been defiled by the Assyrians. The giant washing basin is empty. The altar tables are turned over. The fire is out. In the sanctuary, the golden menorah lies on its side, perhaps under one of the tapestries. The lights are out, and the temple sits in darkness. But we have just won a war, and Judas Maccabeus enters the temple, his brothers and others following him. And as they walk in and they see the destruction inside, they gasp. Someone falls to their knees. There's a moment of stunned silence. But then Judas' sister, Hannah, she walks into the altar area, up to the altar platform, and she begins to pick up the wood that's been strewn about and create the pile that should be there. Someone else walks over and starts to stand up the tables. Someone else picks up the tapestries. And soon everyone is cleaning and straightening up and reorganizing our temple together. Some go out and bring water from Siloam, which you can still see and visit. the pools outside the temple, which are fed by the springs of Gihon. And then other people bring rags, they bring brooms. Still others hear about the people working and they bring food, first fruit and baked goods, and then meals for the workers. And after what feels like both forever and just a minute, the temple is sparkling. And the people standing there look around, and things are clean. There is wood stacked on the altar platform. The incense is mixed and waiting, and its subtle scent, not being on the fire, kind of permeates the space. The bronze wash basin, which is about 3 meters high and 4.5 meters wide, is filled with water enough for 2,000 people to come and bathe in it before going to offer sacrifices. The polished bronze mirrors that the women brought out of Egypt over 1,200 years earlier make up this wash basin, and they are shined to a sheen that reflects light throughout the room. And in the sanctuary, that golden menorah has been reworked by artisans, every dent removed, every mark scuffed off. And it shines beautifully for everyone to see. And now, it's time to relight the menorah. And with it also the Ner Tamid, the eternal light that still burns in every sanctuary. But in their cleaning, the workers found only 1 flask of oil. We all know this part. It will take at least a week to gather more olives, to finish gathering more olives. It is not the time of the olive harvest. Any olives on the trees are very small. They won't produce a lot. But some say we should still start. We have 1 flask. Why aren't we lighting the menorah with the 1 flask? And others argue, well, there's no real point in lighting. It's just going to go out by morning. That would be even worse than not lighting it at all. And finally, Judah, the leader of the people, steps forward in a booming voice that everyone could hear and says, "It was a miracle that we won over the Assyrians. It's a miracle that our temple wasn't destroyed. And it's a miracle that we are standing here today as a people, a free people in charge of ourselves. We were unable to observe Sukkot because of the war, and it's a mitzvah to light the menorah, to offer those sacrifices. And we as Jews always run to do a mitzvah, and so we will light the menorah today." And he calls out the battle cry of his father, Mattatyahu. Mattatyahu did not say, "All those who are against the Assyrians, come with me." Mattatyahu said, "Whoever is for God, come with me." He said, "Mi chamocha be'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'chodesh, nora tehila osei fela." Who is like you, O God, among the gods who are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, in awesome splendor, the God who works wonders? And everyone there knows the response, Adonai yimloch li'olam va'ed. God will reign forever and ever. And so Judah hands this flask to his brother Yonatan, and Yonatan walks into the sanctuary breaks open the seal and pours that oil oh so carefully and reverently into each flower cup of the menorah, the shamash, and the 6 branches. He places a wick in each one. He lights the center flame and then takes that flame and lights the other 6. And for the first time since the war had begun, the menorah burns in the sanctuary, and they are able to take light from that and walk out to the priest's courtyard and light the Ner Tamid. And now there is the light filling the temple that should be there. As the evening wears on, no one leaves. Everyone wants to be there as this light burns, but also waiting for it to go out. And the first day passes into the second, and the flames remain. And the Kohanim come forward, and using the light from the Ner Tamid, they light the fires of the altar. They offer the daily sacrifice and the Sukkot sacrifice. And they offer all of the prayers of thanksgiving that they were unable to do during the war. And eventually, the people realize they need to leave and go about their business and let the temple begin to observe again. And so the Levi'im remain to watch and protect as they have for thousands of years before, and they will for years to come. And the Kohanim offer the next day's sacrifice, and the 4th days, and the 5th days. And as people come and go, they are amazed that this flame is still burning. And then day 7, day 8. And on the 8th day, imagine their relief when a rider comes from the north, from Tekoa and the olive groves there, carrying as many flasks as they were able to produce. And in the years to come, as the 25th of Kislev approached, the people would gather in celebration. Those who could come to the temple would come in sort of a second Sukkot. The Ethiopian community marks this sort of, and they have Sigd, which was last week, which honors 50 days after Yom Kippur. And they continue every year to mark this date, to say prayers of thanksgiving, to light the candles, and not just keep them in our kitchens or in the back of our homes, but to put them in our windows so this light can shine into the world for us and for all of us around us. This light is one that marked resilience, faith, and hope. It is a light of blessing and history. It is a light we will continue to light.